Aubrey dropped his album. Yeah, I know.
Daddy's home.
I don't even know how that warranted the Nickelodeon noise. For the dogs dropped. I'm pretty sure you guys listened to it. I'm pretty sure our audience listened to it. There are some things to talk about from this album. A lot of things to talk about from this album. One of his lowest rated albums review wise.
Mm.
For a lot of different
That's actually surprising.
media websites, et cetera, et cetera. But just before we get into that, let's go around the room. Skip around the room. Skip around the room. Bezos, how was the album to you?
Wasn't the worst. Definitely was not the best. Cool 6 to a light 7. Can I say my analogy on there? I've said it like 5 times already.
Yeah, say it, please. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
okay. It's for the clip, man. This is like LeBron James averaging 20. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like 20 ain't a bad season. You know what I'm saying? That's Evan Fournier. That's cool. But like for LeBron, come on.
That is not Evan Fournier. When the last time has Evan Fournier ever put up 20?
You don't know ball. But yeah, like for LeBron, I'm expecting like 27. But for 20, like 20 is cool. It's alright. It's not the worst, but
Evan Fournier has never put up 20. Jesus Christ.
all right, 17.6. Jeez.
How does he know?
Was it 17.6?
No, it's 19.7, but
Oh my! Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
no. Actually, it's not 19.7. My bad. That was just his Orlando stint. It's 18.5. 18.5 is his highest. Okay, Sage.
Shit. Well, I know I'm gonna get ratioed this pod and definitely by the chat because not gonna lie, do I think it's fantastic? No, but I've listened to this album 3, if not 4 times, definitely 3 times intentionally, and got better through each re-listen. 1 time on stream, 2 times by myself. It's not bad. Not even remotely bad. Certain subjects when we get to them, we'll get to them. So I'm not gonna chat too much. But to call it bad is just 2023. It's not even remotely bad. Not even remotely bad. It's like 7.5 for me.
Damo, how do you feel about this album?
I was actually surprised so many people ears don't work. I liked it. It was cool. Out of the 23 songs, which I've listened to the album twice, like two and a half times, the full album, full length. Cool 6.5, 7 for me. I said it is definitely, but for me, it is between Her Loss, which I have higher, and More Life, which I have right below it. It's right between there. Her Loss and More Life. I like it. It's cool. Out of 23 songs, I fuck with 16 of them that I sit and listen to and won't skip. There's 16 songs I'm not going to skip on this album. Out of 23.
Yeah, there's some bullshit. Cool. Agreed.
I genuinely don't know, and I guess we're going to get into it, but I genuinely don't know what people's expectations were from Drake. And I definitely, well, outside of B Souls, I know how B Souls listens to music. He doesn't. I don't know how people really listen to projects from rappers that's been in the game this long. I don't really get how niggas listen to music in general.
Boy, I think we about to have the same shit, but I'm gonna let Domar go first. I think we about to say the same thing.
But yeah,
oh
I
like
Lord. The album. It's not trash. It's not bad. It's definitely not his greatest album. It's not album of the year, but it's a cool album. It's cool.
Well, yeah. I saw. I was a comment on one of our last videos that was like, Omar just says the thing he doesn't like. He he's not even real about his opinions. He just says the opposite of whatever other people say. So I'm gonna take a different approach. Yeah, I like the album. It was cool. Strong 6 to a light 7. I feel like it's Jordan averaging 20.
These niggas, man.
No, this album was butt. This album was butt for real though. But I mean, looking back on it, I don't necessarily think Drake past couple albums has been bad. Like the past couple albums have been bad to me.
That's the
yeah.
Well, her loss being bad.
Honestly, never mind.
Bad for his standards or just
no. You said the last couple, which would include Her Loss.
No, I understand. I'm starting off at honestly never mind. And I told you Her Loss was cool, but honestly never mind. CLB. Gosh, please don't take me so literal. I don't want to take this. I don't want to do this today. Yeah, honestly, never mind is not good, right? I think we could say that.
Yeah, he tried something new, didn't work for me. I call that the one song album because I only listen to Jimmy Cooks. Yeah, definitely. He tried to.
On
Oh no,
Florida?
honestly, never mind.
No,
Honestly,
Oh,
never
honestly,
mind.
never mind. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I don't
yeah,
have headphones on, so
yeah.
y'all keep your sound so far away.
Nah. Honestly, never mind was an experiment that.
Yeah.
Nah, I went for me.
That shit was awful. That
Okay,
was
I say that shit was like a 3.
CLB.
CLB was cool. It was cool.
I
CLB
did
is
like
actually
CLB.
somewhat shat on for no reason because it dropped the same day same time period Donda did, and you know how that is. And it's not as good as Aubrey Angels will say, but I think it's definitely worse than this in my opinion, and for a couple of objective reasons how it's actually worse than this album.
I didn't like CLB first listen, and the more I listened to it, the more I started to like it. But it's not better than this. So.
Yeah, no, yeah, like almost. And I don't know if the time to start the analysis part is now, but I guess a little hint of it is CLB does a lot of what this album does, except this album does it less frequently and executes on what it does a bit more. But I'm letting everybody get the shit off first.
But no, I think that's my just opinion on it. I didn't like it. There was a lot of bad, sounding music. It sounded lazy to me. I mean, we can get into the meat and potatoes in just 2 seconds. I thought what was laughable, and I have yet to see that video resurface, but I know it exists. So there's 2 things that Damo's talking about expectations. Drake saying that old Drake is back is an expectation. Yachty saying Drake's best verses on here is an expectation. And I think that we could all agree that wasn't on there.
Yeah. As I said, for the most part, yeah, the most Drizzy-like thing Drake did on this album is he did sing a lot on this album. It didn't sound bad. I think saying he sounded bad is incorrect, but nah, I wouldn't say Drizzy Drake vibes were back on this thing necessarily.
It sounded like a sad CLB to me, but
sad CLB is crazy.
Sad CLB.
I disagree with
CLB
that.
too.
I disagree with that yet again. Well, oh man.
Do y'all think Drake's best verses are on here, Damo and B Souls? Do y'all think his best verses are on here?
I would say
this nigga finna cap.
No. I would say he probably has some in terms of his last couple albums. He probably does have some of his best couple of lines we've heard in a minute. Not his best ever, but definitely a couple songs I could see arguing for like his best lines, his best. Yeah. I can see it in terms of recent albums.
Recent albums.
No, that's not what Yachty said. That's not. Thank you.
If you're comparing it to again, Her Loss, Honestly Nevermind, Certified Lover Boy, I would even say Dark Lane Demo.
I would say Dark.
All the way back, I would say he probably said Scorpion. Yeah, up until Scorpion.
Yeah, that's not the conversation.
8 a.m. in Charlotte does have some of the best bars out of like the last 3 album
8 a.m.
run.
in Charlotte.
8 a.m. in Charlotte has some of the best bars for a cool man. If anything,
So I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
Answer the question. Yachty said
answer is no, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
In terms of best verse ever, yeah, no shit.
Okay.
He'd be wrong.
In terms of ever, definitely not.
Now, do we also feel like there's old Drake on this?
Old Drake vibes, yes, but executed correctly.
Old Drake, yes.
Like he attempts, yeah, but in terms of like, oh yeah, this puts me back in 2011. No, nothing will put y'all niggas in 2011.
This definitely ain't you the fucking best. I'm not getting you the best.
Yeah, listen, your
but
best I ever had. No,
he definitely went back a little bit. I feel it. Pause.
Do y'all feel like a lot of the? Let me ask y'all this, because I know Sage did a listening party on the stream. Do you feel like a lot of the songs were too long? And I know I'm Mr. TikTok guy. No songs over 4 minutes, but generally speaking.
So this will be, I guess, the part where we start analyzing the album. So the reason why I said it was better than CLB for a lot of people that are going to ratio me, I think Damo agrees with me as well, is because that answer is yes, but they shouldn't have even been there. A lot of Drake's been obsessed as of late with beat switches. I don't know what it is. He's been obsessed with beat switches. And this album, what it does objectively better than CLB, even my chat agreed with this. My chat was booing me out the park when I started. These beat switches are better than what they were on CLB. CLB were 2 separate songs that were just into one. At least this album, there were some beat switches that literally made sense. Like the J. Cole song, that beat switch made sense. But then there would be what's the joint with SZA? Slime Y'all, that beat switch doesn't make sense at all. Like I'm like,
It's
why?
an awful song, right? That's an awful song.
I don't even like the song. Yeah, that song is garbage.
Not even just slime you out. The
most
don't
like that song.
The most egregious version of the we'll get back to that in a second. Most egregious beat switch on this album is easily the Sexy Red song, because you got to think what the audience is for. The audience is for bitches shaking ass. Why, after 4 minutes of ass shaking, twerk for Drake, not twerk for me, do you have Drake singing his heart out for like 30 seconds on a slow beat? That part will literally never get played. Like, not in the car, not in the club, not by me personally. If I was a joke, it's just never gonna get played. So he has a lot of those, but at the same time, he has some good beat switches. So that's why when it comes to CLB, I fuck with the melodies of CLB. But if anybody's mad why I think it's better than that album does that, but like the bad part on every song.
Can I say this too? The women don't like that song. The women do not like that Sexy Red SZA song. That song is fucking garbage. Bezos, you felt like Slime You Out was a.
I don't hate Slime You Out. I think y'all a little too hard on
his
it. His
last verse on it, when he lists out all the months, I fuck with that shit.
That was corny. That's the one part of the song I know I don't like. I like Drake's last verse on that. If he had cut out the calendar verse actually and literally had Drake verse, SZA verse, chorus, and then the last verse, I would have said the song's good. That calendar shit was OD corny. July is when I found out. July, October is all about me because your turn should have been over. It's like, all right, bruh. Like no, that's and
is that
Drake,
smooth
Drake,
to you,
and Drake
like,
always has been that guy.
It's all about the delivery, man.
And this is like, again, a little hint. I've been chatting, so I'm letting someone else talk.
Terrible.
But this is a hint to what I'm gonna say about the expectations part, because Drake has always had an IG caption and some corny shit whenever he's cooking. And there's just always been a thing. You can name the top 10 Drake songs of all time, put them in a goddamn playlist, and if you were to send it to somebody, someone's gonna say, "What did he say in song 3?" Like that's just what it is at this point. But I don't like that part at all.
The American slave line is what ruined
Thank
that
you,
song.
Tomo. Oh
Yo,
my
I
God.
forgot about that line.
That alone right there.
Yeah, I forgot about that line.
A half Jewish Canadian talking about
whipped and chained you like an American slave.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just zone out on the lyrics.
And that's
we know you do, but we
and
know
that
you
is why
do.
I said I know how B-Souls listen to music. He doesn't.
This is why I'm gonna get ratioed, because Souls is on my side and it's easy to cook him. Souls, tighten up, buddy.
But we legitimately know you do, and that's terrible. Like I can't.
Okay, sounds like I'm having fun listening to music. I guess
to whip this. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God,
bro, you're not gonna jump my man, bro. You on my side right here. Chill, man.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that slave bar. Nah, bro, don't twist it that way. What the fuck?
No one's saying you enjoyed the slave bar. I'm just saying that was a turn off for me on the song. If you like it because you just bobbed your head through it, that's on you.
I will say, niggas bob their head through a bunch of bullshit anyway.
That's
and they be saying bullshit. Apparently, there's a date grape line on this track, or date grape. They're still trying to decipher it.
Apparently, one of the songs is like putting
Cialis into her drink or whatever the case may be. But when Rick Ross did it, it was like that. Then I come to find out Tuscan Leather has something similar along the same lines. I don't want to get into my.
I'm not gonna put a fucking scout.
Let's not talk about Teenage Fever.
No,
I'm bi because you're one of the guys' girl line rank in terms of one of Drake's worst lines.
Yeah, I'm bi because you're one of the guys. Like that's what she like. I'm sorry. To me, the way that I consume music, I know people. Oh, there's vibe music and all that stuff like that. Everything isn't vibe music, especially when somebody says best verse is old Drake. And also, I have the expectation for you being not just greatest hip hop artist, and maybe folks should change that, but niggas put you in the conversation for greatest rapper of all time. I don't expect you to walk out, I'm bi because you're one of the guys. I don't expect you to walk out whipped and chained you like American slaves. I don't.
This is where, and not I disagree from expecting greatness from
American slaves.
Oh my God.
Like no, when Drake's coming,
go ahead.
And even if in my fault, Sage, I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But even if Drake, even if Yachty, who's I guess produced most of the songs, whatever his affiliation was with the album, Even if he comes out and says, "Nah, this is some of Drake's best shit," he's a yes man. It's Lil Yachty, and I fuck with you, Lil Bo. That's my guy. If Drake comes out and says, nah, this shit gonna be hard. It's gonna hard to what's he supposed to say? That's like a nigga coming out. That's like John Morant saying, I ain't got no problems in the West. Like, what is he supposed to say? Oh, no, I tell
you what though. And I think that I watched a lot on this. I watched Academics. I watched Joe Budden. I listened to Ebro, Charlemagne. I looked at like everybody's little analysis on this thing. Apparently, this is a little out of the norm for how Drake does some albums, specifically Rollout, and it's been that way for a minute.
At 6 a.m.
And then also, just for other rappers, comparing it to other rappers don't. I mean, when you get into that status, apparently it's just different. Now, I'm not going to act like I've sat through every single interview in the world or whatever. You do get some glaze, like, oh, this is a good album. This is where I am at this album, et cetera, et cetera. But I think some of these things are intentional that are being said. These are some of Drake's best verses. These are some of Drake's blah, blah, blah. I think Drake is appealing to a different audience now.
True.
I think that he's appealing to the casual, am I pointing that way? The casual listener. I believe he's appealing to the youth, the ones that are just looking for Instagram stuff and vibes. But what I will say is this, just like I said about every other album that's dropped this year, give it a few weeks. Niggas not gonna be cutting this shit on.
Hey, I don't believe that, but I will say, I mean, I think my problem with the expectations for every Drake album since If You're Reading This Is Too Late is now Drake is in a position where the nigga can't win. Like, people go back, like every Drake album is spun the block and viewed better as time goes on for most shit. The only exception that I've seen is honestly Nevermind. The proof is CLB.
Domo, are we ever gonna get 9 a.m. in Salisbury?
That's disgusting.
Nah,
sick. The proof, but the proof is CLB because CLB was perceived as shit. Niggas was booing it. I think we even had like an episode about it, and niggas was dunking on CLB like that shit was hot garbage. Literally, this stream, if you need to go back and rewind, niggas was appalled that I dare say that this was above CLB because it was so fucking good. Again, like it's ridiculous. So I feel like the nigga is in a situation where over time people are just gonna listen to his shit, and like the people that there's two types of niggas. There's niggas that listen to an album once, turn it off, they download what they initially liked and don't listen to it again. And then there's the niggas that will replay a song even if they thought it was ass, just to say, is this shit really ass? Was I missing something like that? And then like niggas don't listen to music for real.
They'll indoctrinate themselves into liking that song, Sage. They'll fake themselves into liking and believing that the song was good. Academics talked about this. He said there's literally some people who I will listen to him one time, but for Drake, and there's a reason why I'm saying this when we get into the criticisms, Academics talked about how Drake called him and was talking about Academics being salty. Because mind you, Academics and Joe Budden are like real Drake dick riders. But Academics said that he made his criticisms about the album. Drake called him out. He's salty. He's mad because I called Kai Cenat and I talked to him about the album and not him, et cetera, et cetera. And at the end of their conversation, and we'll get into it a little bit more, Drake says, well, you got to listen to it listen to it a few times. Maybe you'll change your mind. I'm a person. I shouldn't have to be forced to, all right, well, let me sit down and listen to it here. And let me sit down and listen to it here. And let me sit down and listen to it here. And let me listen to it 300 times so I can condition myself into thinking that this music is good. Shouldn't take that long.
Well, it should. No, that's an exaggeration, but that's dishonest though, because this is art. It's not even like scouting a rookie in the NBA or a TV show that its goal is to literally attract your entry frame one so you can invest into its monthly and yearly episodic thing. This is literally music that is essentially like, unless somehow albums get deleted, I guess, it's supposed to be timeless art. So to act like you can perceive it correctly, well, I guess we disagree. But to act like you can perceive an album correctly the first listen is, I think, madness. I hard to agree with that.
No, I'm saying you can understand if you like something based off of the first taste of the art. Just like when you can put something in your mouth and perceive that you like it or dislike it. We can go to music. We can go to movies. It doesn't take you. How many times do you watch a movie legitimately? When you watch a movie, Do you go back? It's art. Do you go back to the movie and watch it 2 and 3 and 4 times?
Well, with the
I don't
with the
rewatch
movie,
movies, bro. As much
with
as
the movie,
it's a different story.
First of all, movies.
Why?
If you're critically reviewing a movie, you should watch it more than once. Like if we're gonna come here and we were supposed to like have this hard review on I don't know, the Barbie movie or some shit. If I was serious about that, or like Spider-Verse is a perfect example. Yeah. If you have I feel like when you have positive reviews on things, you can kind of get away with being lazy with some things and being blindly positive. But when you have a negative opinion about something, you do need to at least take the time out to kind of listen to it again or watch it again, because at that point you got to make sure that you didn't miss anything, or not only that you didn't miss anything, but you interpreted it the right way, how it's supposed to be interpreted, or you've yet again watched it and you said, yeah, I don't see what bro was trying to cook. And at that point, yeah, at that point I say, yeah, you should, yeah, we should be watching things twice or listening to things twice.
I don't believe you owe niggas that, but go ahead, Damo.
I'll say this. I do agree, and I'm just stick to music. I'm not even gonna go to TV, movies, and all that other shit and like actual art. Okay. I just stick to music. I do understand, I do agree. Yes, you can hear something one time and genuinely be like, this shit is not for me.
I
this
agree.
Shit is ass.
Would agree.
You don't need to listen to it again because you genuinely don't like it. I do believe anybody can have that feeling about music. That is 100% true. I also believe that there is a threshold between, I don't know. I don't know about that one. If you're at that point of a song where you're like, I don't know about that one, those are the songs you listen to again, because music can grow on you. And I'm going to use myself as an example. Pound Town is a song that we can review the tape on this pod.
Yep.
I could not stand. Why is my shit so blurry? Oh my God.
I don't know.
I could not stand fucking Pound Town at first. And whether it is, I just heard it so much and I forced myself to like it.
Bingo.
Whether it grew on me, whether this, that, or the fourth, no matter what it was, I'm on that shit now. Like, I'm out of town thugging my rounds. I like the song. I genuinely fuck with the song. I fuck with Sexy Red, I fuck with the song. So music can grow on you. So if we're gonna act like, oh, it only takes one listen to make or break our album, especially a fucking album. If it takes one listen to make or break our album, if that's how you operate, that is absolutely fine. That's cool. That's just not how everyone doesn't hear shit the same. Everybody don't see shit the same. And people's opinions can change based on how many times they hear something.
And I want y'all to know that's not what I said. I want y'all to know that I'm telling you what Academics was saying, and he said he gives these exceptions for specific types of people. And I agree with him. Academics said for certain people, I'll give them one listen to, and if it's not for me, I'm going to know immediately, and I'm never going to listen to it again. It just is what it is. But for Drake, I will give him 50 chances. Why? One, he's a Drake dick rider, and two, he just believes in Drake's music. 50?
50 is crazy.
Oh, he said 100 on his stream to keep it 1,000. And he told Drake, apparently when he was on the phone with Drake, that's what he told him. So like, I understand that's your artist. You're going to give him that grace. For me, Drake is not, I'm going to be honest with you. Drake is not that artist. I can't even think off the top of my head an artist that I would do that for. I believe personally how I was taught with art or whatever, you should know based off of the first thing, how you feel about it. I would say, Damo, for you and for other people like you, for a lot of people just in general, you can be indoctrinated into liking things. You can be conditioned into liking it. You can be brainwashed. So I can play it 50,000 times. When I worked at, did they play gas station at your, I'm sorry. Did they play music at your gas station when you worked there, Damo?
No, I was playing the music.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I've worked at retail places and all that stuff like that. Say, did they play music when you was at T-Mobile?
Nigga, I played music there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different. Well, when I worked at these different places, and they had the little music playing over the loudspeaker. Y'all know when y'all go to malls and go shopping, etc.
100%.
If you work there for 8 hours a day, you might hate that song, but boy, you might find yourself in the car, bobbing to it, mouthing the lyrics, kind of singing it, and you thinking to yourself, I fucking hate that song. However, it's stuck in my head. I'm brainwashed. I'm indoctrinated to like this song, and I think a lot of people do that with Drake. And I think that's the meta. Like I think that's the formula. Make you a song that you know is going to be commercialized very heavily. Coil Ray. It's going to be on TikTok, heavy as fuck. Drake, Sexy Red, Coil Ray. And then people just over time, okay, I got to figure out what this song is.
I think there's a healthy line between one listen and then that conditioning. Now, I think there's a healthy line between Boys Aaliyah, Bad and Bougie, You Ain't Even Know It remixes, and then listening to an album one time through and saying it sucks. I'm sorry if that's just something that I'm like denying.
No,
but
I don't disagree. If you find yourself listening to it more than once, that's fine. But I'm not that person.
I will say this. And to a little bit to somewhat further your point and somewhat disagree with that at the same time, pause if needed. I mean, that is not a pause. I hate this generation. I'll say that there's in terms of what academics were saying, obviously, I mean he's out, like, the motherfucker like Drake too much. But I'll say when it comes to like songs that I know I'm not gonna try twice or listen to twice, it's because I know that's a genre of music I don't fuck with. So like the Playboy Cardi Yeet kind of music, I've just never been a fan of it. I've tried, I'm not a fan of it. So I already know that that Drake and Yeet song, I'd listened to it once, didn't like it, not gonna try again, because I know that entire genre of music I really don't like, except for maybe a handful of songs. And don't ask me to name them because it's a handful of songs. So I can understand that, but some artists have substance. Now, if you don't think Drake is one of those artists that has substance to his music, there's no need to re-listen to him. That's fine. But there's some artists like Kanye. I'm never going to listen to a Kanye album once and then say I know everything about the album. That, I think, is just, everybody should agree that's ridiculous. But that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there's certain albums that need to be experienced in certain ways, because like some albums are made for like concert settings, some albums are made for just chilling settings, some albums are made for like in the club music. So if you're listening to a in the club album at home, it's not gonna hit the same as when you're in the club.
It's a different conversation as well.
That is different too.
I agree with what you're saying. If it's for a festival, as Damo was saying about Trav, all that stuff like that, I 100% agree. If you experience it originally at home and then wait to hear it in the club and it's going to ring off, I feel the same way about like Put It on the Floor or hell, any Sexy Red songs. Truly, like listening to it at home on the little phone speaker, it's going to hit differently than listening to it here. Listening to Cranes in the Sky or any other Solange Knowles song without your girlfriend hits differently. It's like, but when you're with your woman, it hits differently. What I'm talking about is sitting here. All right, I listened to this one time through, and then at 2:00, I'm going to go ahead and play it through again. And then I'm going to get in the car, and then I'm going to take me a 2-hour drive to try to make sure that I listen to it again. And then I'm going to put it on some headphones and listen to it again. So I have 5 total album listens to in a day, and then I'm going to try it again tomorrow.
Well, I feel like at that point, it's kind of a lose-lose situation, because it's either you listen to the album thoroughly enough to form a actual opinion, or you didn't listen to it enough, and now you're just speaking out your ass. It's kind of like, so what are you supposed to do? Listen to it 3? That's the middle number?
I don't think it takes all these listens when it comes to art. That, again, this is me. This is how I consume stuff. I don't think it takes all those listens to understand art. Specifically, not specifically, because again, 100 is extreme. But the niggas that's like, you gotta give it some more tries. You gotta give it some more tries.
I'll be the same motherfucker to tell you. I'll be the same motherfucker to tell you, just so I'm not inconsistent with anything I've said in the past. I'll be the same motherfucker to tell you, if you tell me to go to a restaurant, I try some food, don't like it, you tell me I ordered the wrong food. If I go there again and you tell me and I don't like something else and you're telling me, all right, well, try this, eat a dick. Restaurant sucks. So I'm not gonna be obtuse with the shit. I'm just saying we live in an era, and I guess this will lead to my second point. We're in an era where everything objectively either has to be goated or it's bad. And there's never an in-between. I have yet to see it. And that's why I find myself sympathizing with like athletes, artists, really anybody that's in the entertainment industry, because it's starting to actually annoy me. And my blow up was being the toxic motherfucker. But it's actually starting to get old and annoying how like everybody out the gate has to be Himothy the third, and then people need to see someone else think that this is Himothy or the third. Otherwise, everyone's default opinion on something is it's bad without even attempting to see the good in it. And it's so fucking old and annoying.
I'll say this. Oh, go ahead, Demo.
No, I was just gonna say, in terms of albums, I do agree. You shouldn't have to listen to some shit 5-6 times before you formulate an opinion. I genuinely think you just need to listen to some shit twice. Once to go through and vet out, like, okay, first 5-6 tracks, that shit was boring for me. Second, whatever it is, to vet out what you do like, the skips and don't skips. A second time to go through and confirm that you like what you like, and the skips were actual skips. And after that, you should just be picking out the songs you like out the album that you're gonna listen to. That's really it. Once you start getting to the threshold of third, fourth, fifth, sixth, listen, I'm not gonna lie, you probably just don't know how to listen to music at this point. If you can't formulate an opinion after 2 listens, albums are an hour long. If you gotta listen to a nigga for more than an hour or hour 15 minutes, and you still like, this is the 5th listen, I don't know, man. Around track 13 every time, I'm just kind of like, but you just don't know how to listen to music. Like, I don't know what to say, bro.
Or you're truly trying to get yourself to formulate the opinion.
Or you're trying to force it. I will say that. Or you're just trying to force it.
And I will say this too. My mind could totally change based off of the setting thing that B-Soul's brought up. I could say this now. I could go to the store tomorrow and they're playing it in H&M. I could feel a different way. I could go to a club and they could be playing it and I could feel a different way. I could hear it off of loudspeakers instead of hearing it off of my phone or in the gym or whatever the case may be, and I could feel a different way. But ultimately, niggas talking about 5 and 6 listens to interpret art, all that stuff. To me, that's crazy. And I would ask them, do you do that with anything else? Y'all probably heard one country song in your life and decided country wasn't for you. Why not give it 5 tries?
5 or 6 is crazy.
Why not give it twice? But I do. Okay, so I do want to get into some of the criticism and stuff like that.
But I was going to segue if you didn't.
So like I said earlier, lowest rated album on.
That is still shocking to me. I will die with the mids and mids. Low, second lowest is still crazy because never mind.
Who rated this?
I don't.
Drake's lowest
second lowest
rated
ever.
Disagree.
Hip hop album
of the decade so far. Now
that's all artists, right?
Yeah.
Disagree.
We're 3 years in, and
of the decade so
far. Of the decade so far.
Of the decade, I thought this was of Drake. All right, well now I don't take this. Now I don't take this seriously at all. I thought this was of Drake's catalog. This was ranked second. This is second worst of the decade. Fucking all right, bro. All right.
No. So my question would be, what's the project below it? Because if it's not Roddy Ricch's project, this shit is a lie.
Yo, that's crazy.
Because everyone said Roddy Ricch's fucking Life in the Fast Lane, whatever the fuck that was, the worst fucking piece of shit ever.
According to the internet, that was the worst shit.
So
according to the internet, that's the worst thing of all time.
Which I know it's not, because there's been plenty. 6ix9ine's album was fucking worse. So I can give you 5 albums right now worse. How the fuck did that shit rank second lowest of the 2020 so far?
Yeah, Twitter news is no longer valid anymore.
Niggas just saying shit to pay their rent, bro. I swear rent's due, bro. Niggas
what if it was?
They have a blue check mark. Did they have a blue check mark that said that?
He said, "What if it was right?"
I'm about to say, what if it was Roddy Ricch's shit?
If it was Roddy Ricch's shit, that's crazy.
He's got some consistency. He's consistent. Shit, I never.
And it's going up. It's going up over time because right now I'm looking at it and it's a 52. People just haven't given it its listens, but that's taking everything in with like a grain of salt. So it's here. Maybe let me go to critic review. Yeah, 52. User review is at TBD. So it's going up. Let me see some of these reviews though. It might not be the worst Drake album, but it's in the conversation for sure. This is from Pitchfork. For all the dogs, caps off a recent persona that sounds like none of it's fun to him, and he's dragging us along to be the company of his misery. This tension leaves for all the dogs in a strange limbo. Its highs are higher than many recent Drake records, and its lows are far lower.
Jesus.
Y'all niggas mean over here. But yeah. Again, it's just.
They listened 6 times, didn't they?
I don't take none of that.
Now them niggas be listening to it a lot. I ain't gonna lie, because they dissecting the immature lyrics and all that stuff.